Thanks very much for coming this morning. As the press release said, this is a State of the Agency presentation today. I've been working with kids for 38 years, about half of those as an executive, and do an annual State of the Agency address to my board, my staff, the community when necessary. And we thought, given some of the stories that have been on lately, that we might offer it to the whole community today. I've still got a little bit of objectivity. I'm not quite here a year yet, as you all know, so give you that particular perspective. If there are questions about some of the recent news stories, etc., we've enhanced our website, and it's on the banner behind us here. We encourage you to go to that. In the next 24 hours, it'll be complete with some interviews and some enhanced statements, etc. Probably the main thing I wanted to emphasize today is who is Children's Services. And I've asked these poor people to stand with me today because this is Children's Services. This is your neighbors and your friends, and they bring their kids to your school, and they go to your churches, and they come here every day and keep kids safe. And so a lot of what I talk about is going to be about what they do every day. And again, from kind of a fresh perspective of somebody pretty new to the agency and pretty new to child welfare. Being new to the agency, I have kind of kept a who knew list since I got here. I've worked with this agency for all 38 years. I've worked with 56 of the 88 county child welfare agencies in Ohio through the course of my career. So I've gotten to know this agency very well. From an outsider perspective, but it's been unique being able to come in and seeing really how it operates day to day to keep kids and families safe in our community. So I'll kind of go over my who knew list a little bit with you. I didn't know that over 80% of the families we work with, we keep the kids at home. We help solve the problems. It's called alternative response. And we're not that agency that comes to your house to take your kids. We're that agency that comes and helps you take care of your kids when they're in families going through kind of rough times, etc. So that's important, something I didn't know. What you see here is an impressive range of specialties. Most of us in the community, and you probably think that it's one worker, one child. A kid gets taken into care, and that's happening as we speak, actually. But we think a kid gets taken into care and gets assigned a worker, and that person follows that kid from the time they come in till the time they reach permanency, either in an adoptive home or return to their biological home. Not the case. We have incredible specialties in our investigative team, in our assessment team, in those folks that work with kids in out-of-home placement, ongoing, that work with our foster parents. Who knew we had 100 foster families? That's really quite an impressive addition to our ability to support and take care of kids. There are professional parents. Without them, I'm not sure what we would do. So they're key to our operation. We have this group of folks comes to work every day with the fire in the belly to do what they do. They see unspeakable things every day. But they come in positive. You saw them hanging out, talking to each other when we came. And they're impressive when they do their work. 2 months into my job, we took a very large family of kids into care. And everybody here stayed till 7 o'clock that night until all those kids were in safe placements. Nobody asked for overtime either. So that's pretty impressive stuff. They're committed to coming here every day and taking care of you and your community. Who knew that we had a sophisticated quality improvement program here? You don't think of that with child welfare, but we do. We have a strategic plan that everybody in the room and the community had input into that really guides how we're going to get better from year to year. And probably my favorite is our culture of communication here. One of my first meetings, it was a supervisor's meeting that I went to when I came here. People were contentious and not agreeing and raising their voices, and we came to common agreement and walked out with a better plan and a better approach to things. I like that. I don't want a group of people that are always going to agree. When we're talking about a kid, when we're talking about their safety, when we're talking about their permanency, we hear every voice of that team that works with the kid. I was shocked the first time that I went to a meeting about adoption of kids, and there were 12 people in the room. And they all knew the kid, they all had an opinion, and they all had a relationship with the child and the adoptive parents, etc. So that's my who knew list. That's my list of what I would call strengths of this agency. Now, what are our areas of focus, which is the real reason I called you here today? We need to enhance the community's understanding of what we do and why. You know, we can use words like safety and permanency and child well-being, but we've got to help you understand why we open a case sometimes, why we don't open a case sometimes. So we're working on getting better at that. When a school makes a referral, what exactly are we going to do next? When a neighbor makes a referral, what are we going to do next, and how does this work? When it doesn't rise according to the law as a case that we can open, we want to explain that, and we want to explain why. So we're working on getting really very good at that. Traditionally, child welfare is not very data-driven. So child welfare agencies don't, as a whole, make really data-driven mistakes. We are compared with all 87 other counties in this particular dashboard. It's a Child and Family Services dashboard. When you compare us with the other 87 counties, we're in the top 8% in our outcomes. Trumbull County is in the top 8% in our outcomes. And that's how quickly we get kids into permanent situations, how frequently kids have to come back into our care after we have returned them to a stable environment. And so we're top 8%. We have one area that we need an action plan on. And we like that. We're creating dashboards for other areas of functioning within the agency too, which I'll be rolling out at future board meetings. Our foster parents, I thought some would show up today. They've got one of the hardest jobs that there is. We send a kid to their home and say, love them, and get them ready to send back to the home that they came from. So we have to constantly work on our relationship with those valuable partners and make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're truly all part of the same team. Did you know we had residential treatment here? We have 24 kids living in this building, actually this building and another building. That's very unique for a children's services agency. Most of them send their kids out of county. A neighbor county has 39 kids in out-of-county placement. We have less than 5. And so this is an incredible area of focus for us. We're really, really good. And the challenge that I set out for this group is we're going to really be the best, so that no kid will have to go out of our county for placement. Why keep them at home? Because they don't have to stay in placement for as long, because they're right here, close to their families, close to their workers, etc. I'm going to pretty soon be standing next to Ed Stark. He's the superintendent of the Trumbull County Board of Developmental Disabilities, because our relationship has grown immensely just in the 11 months we've worked together as leaders in our agencies. We've got 2 kids that we share between agencies that are in out-of-county placements far away. We're bringing those kids home. Together, you'll hear us talk more about this, but we'll create a 4-bed group home, not really a group home, but a residential living situation, a supervised situation for those kids, so that their families can see them, so that our workers can see them even more frequently than we do now. Finally, we're working with our community partners, and that's everybody that works with kids in the community. Trumbull County is pretty unique in that way that we all talk to each other, we all work together on kids, but we want everybody in the community in the next couple or 3 years to understand trauma-informed care, the impact of trauma. I'm hoping that you guys know as much as we do about trauma, but did you know that over 50% of the people in our community, in our country, have experienced an adverse childhood experience. And did you know that it has long-term health effects and social functioning effects and cognitive effects on a person if not treated? We feel very strongly that we need to take the lead with the entire community and help folks understand that kids have problems in school not because they're attention seeking necessarily, or not because they're trying to manipulate or get out of work. More than likely it's because of trauma. So we're going to take the lead as an agency in that. So if we can put the screen down, I want to show you something real quick.
We were pregnant with this little man, and obviously had a drug issue. He was born and tested positive for several narcotics, and they proceeded to take him from us from there. I mean, we each have, 10 years each of pretty good drug history. I mean, intravenous drug use is a hard thing to overcome. So, and we just made the decision that it's worth it, it's time to do it, and never looked back. They wanted us to enter family dependency court. Obviously, they were taking him, and they needed structured, monitored visits with him, and we attacked all that full bore.
Once a week, we got to see him for an hour. It was really hard.
We hated Children's Services. They were the bad guy. They were taking our kid from us, and it was everybody else's fault. It wasn't our fault. Of course not. It wasn't our fault. It was everybody else. Children's Services changed our lives.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I just started YSU, so hopefully I'll be an addiction counselor in the next 6 years, hopefully by then. And, James wants to go back to school.
It'd be impossible for us to have made it where we are today without them. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about Children's Services. Moral support, advice, everything along the way.
Yeah, if we were struggling, they've helped us. They've helped us more than they've hurt us, that's for sure.
Marilyn Pape.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Pape, and I've been at this agency for 27 years. There's a lot that has been written about us, and there's a lot that should be written about us. I wish you could see what I see every day. I wish you could see how the staff come to work every day knowing that they are going to hear and see things that are incomprehensible to most people. I wish you could see how hard they fight to keep families together, to reunify children with loving families, to create permanency for children. I wish you could see the staff who pick the nits out of a child's hair, who wash the dirt off of their little bodies, who hold a trembling child or transport them back from a visit with their parents, trying to comfort and assure them that it's going to be okay. And the staff, they don't do it for the accolades, and they sure don't do it for the pay. They do it because they have a passion to serve others, to protect kids, to make a difference in someone's life. I wish you could see how courageous they are, to know that they are not perfect people in an imperfect world, that in the face of evil and illness, they still work hard, and they still know that all human behavior is not always predictable. And when something goes wrong, I wish you could see how courageously they attack it, they own it, they learn from it, and we keep going on. In the 27 years that I've been here, not now or ever, has a child or a family just been a number to anybody that works here. I wish you could see what I see, because then you would be as proud of them as I am. Thank you.
Thanks, Marilyn. So I guess in closing, I want you to hold me accountable for these areas of focus that we talked about here. And we will continue to talk to you about what we're good at and what we're working on, et cetera. but we wanted to kind of personalize it today and get the message out who we are and what we do every day. So we'll take questions off the podium here. Thank you very much for coming. Staff, thank you for coming, and you can go back to work.